Good afternoon and welcome to Weekly Word. I'm Haley Hallock and this is Stitched Head and Heart Project. We are actually in my backyard in Cave Creek, Arizona today because I have been out of the office and I realized that I am going on vacation and I didn't do our Weekly Word last week. So I'm writing notes, I'm a little disorganized and it's hotter than blazes out here. But I wanted to just introduce our next 4-week season episodes. So in the next 4 weeks, what we're going to do is we're going to discover where we're at concerning the art of receiving. So I really do believe that receiving is an art, and I believe that it is something that we have to learn how to identify, how to do, and how to do well, such that we can live to be our highest and greatest selves. So in the next 4 weeks, what we'll do is the first portion will be us just simply becoming mindful. We are going to identify where we are in the art of receiving, what our mindsets are and our predisposed behaviors are concerning it. Then we'll dive in a little bit and we'll kind of look at maybe the maladjusted sources and ideas that we have that aren't serving us, that are blocking and stopping us from being able to receive, and how we can do that in a more healthy and intentionful mindset. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to look at reframing those. So at Stitched Head and Heart, as a PSYCH-K facilitator and a certified consulting hypnotist, reframing the subconscious mind is kind of my forte. That's what we do in the office. So what we'll do is I'll give you a couple of ideas as to how I go about helping my clientele with reframing things that no longer serve us, things that have held us back. So within the art of receiving, there are a variety of different things that can go awry. It can happen as early as early childhood development on into our adult years, that something stops us from feeling worthy, or there's a trauma or something that happens that blocks our ability to receive, and so I think then from there we will go ahead and we will just do kind of a wraparound from last week. The reason that I came up with this next 4 week with the art of receiving was because our last video that we discussed, we talked about the most important relationship. We focused on relationships for 4 weeks and ended with the most important relationship. That relationship being the relationship that you have with self, how you treat yourself, how your internal monologue serves you or hinders you from becoming successful. So I thought one of the tenets of having a good relationship with self, an honorable relationship with self, is one of the tenets is receiving. So are we willing to receive love? Are we willing to receive prosperity? Are we willing to receive our divine purpose in life? Those things are not going to happen if we're stopping ourselves in that most important relationship. So we'll do the next 4 weeks with that focus, okay? So Art of Receiving, we'll have our first week, which will be identifying our mindset concerning receiving, okay? Then the following week, we are going to go ahead and identify any maladaptive or maladjusted ideas or sources that stop us from receiving. So we'll investigate those a little bit, and so I'll have some questions, for you guys as to what you think the source is. You really coming up with your own answers and your own reframing. So then the following 3rd week we'll do the reframing. Okay, so what can we do if we are aware that we're dysfunctional in our receiving, or we're not receiving enough? We know where the source is. What do we do to reframe that? How can we fix it? Where are the solutions? Let's look towards some results and let's see what we can do to circumvent future hindrances and blocks, okay? And then wrapping it back around in the 4th week, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about how the art of receiving and doing that well, and truly honoring that most important relationship will serve us in the future. What can we visualize for ourselves? What do we see coming up? What would we like to manifest and create for ourselves and our futures? Where do we see ourselves in the next 5 years, kind of thing? Getting, out into the future. So that's what our next 4 weeks will be. We will start that next week. We'll start with the identifying the mindset and where we're at concerning that. Other than that, we're going to cut it short today since we're out in the heat, and just say blessings to all of you. You are more than welcome to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, any of the social medias. Instagram, we're under at Stitched Head and Heart Project, at SHH Project on Twitter, at Haley Hallock. You can reach me with any specific personal questions that you don't want to put underneath the YouTube videos, or on public feed. You can go ahead and just email me. Emailing me at haley.hallock@gmail.com, and then you can also email or book through haleyhallock.com. So I'm wishing you guys all the best and blessings, and I will see you guys next week.